record this. Our American flag ready. Well, we have a few more minutes. Let's see which one pops up today.
Lots of them.
Ooh, I like that one.
That one's good.
Yeah.
We had our.
Oh, no, maybe not.
We had a board of supervisors meeting 2 weeks ago. And I had to zoom in because I was out of town. I was in the amphitheater of below Mount Rushmore. So during the meeting, I'm sitting in the meeting and I said, okay, I'm ready to go, guys. And they went, what is that over your shoulder?
And you're like,
And I said, Mount Rushmore, that's Mount Rushmore. Like, what? I did the whole meeting with Mount Rushmore, you know what I mean? Which is kind of fun.
We do have a quorum, so at 7 o'clock we can get started, but I'm expecting a few more. Now we have 10. So I think we'll.
Is Paul coming down there? Yes.
He said he was, so
Okay.
Still got a few minutes though. 8 minutes.
Yeah, we're.
Go ahead and get the agenda up.
here's the flag.
Oops, someone did draw.
Speaking of that,
Paul.
How are you doing?
Good. Hey, watch.
I make the quorum.
You did? Yeah, we
I'm gonna sit down here and see what you see on.
you made the quorum even bigger. I love it.
I said, it says Paul gonna be here, and he said, yeah. And then you walked in the door.
Timing is everything.
Exactly. How you been?
Yep.
So one thing that does give me a little concern is our auditors are on the call. They're going to give a little brief presentation. So let me send a quick email.
I think they say all is good.
Yes.
Okay, good then.
We have the report too, but still, I'd like to have them on. Let me send this email before we get started real quick, just to see if Eric meeting link, needs the link again. I was going to think on the fly, right? Eric. Eric.
Flexibility is the key to air power. That's a different situation.
Oh, Tavia. We have quite the turnout. Ah, this could be it. That might be Eric. Let's find out. We have Nate, Amanda, Diane, Ellen, Dan, Tavia, Joel, and no, that's Steve.
Steve.
So we don't have Eric on the call. We do have quite the turnout though. I think we have like 15 people in the meeting. So what we'll do is I guess we can get started. And if Eric shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, we'll just roll with punches.
All right. So the July meeting of QRECOG is now in session. This meeting is being recorded. Let us all begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patrick, would you please do a roll call?
Sure thing. Aleppo, Avalon, Bell Acres, Bellevue.
Here.
Ben Abbott.
Here.
Ben Abbott Heights.
Here.
Worth. Amesworth.
Here.
Glen
Here.
Osborne. Diane's here. Glenfield.
Here.
Hayesville.
Here.
Kilbuck.
Here.
Leet. Leetsdale.
Here.
Sewickley. Sewickley Heights. Nate's here. And Sewickley Hills.
Here.
That's a quorum. So 3 people entered. So that could be, oh wow. We have quite the turnout tonight. So Roberta
Leet
from
is also here.
So Roberta and Donna, so Roberta from Avalon and Donna from Leet all joined. So 14 out of 16 communities, that might be a record. So,
Wow.
or sorry, 17. 14 out of 17. So very good. Thank you for everyone for hopping on the call.
All right. Is there public comment today on items of and any agenda items or items of general interest?
Nope.
No. In that case, Patrick, let's welcome our guests for today.
Sure, let's start out with it's going to be item B on the agenda. So this is an opportunity to work with New York Life Insurance to offer life insurance to employees of our municipalities and elected officials if they so wish. So Amy Parado is here from New York Life to give a brief presentation. Amy, feel free to take it away.
Or they can see me?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, there's
Perfect.
right there.
I love the turnout, guys. Thank you. So my name's Amy Pareto. I'm a financial advisor with New York Life. I have specifically been working with local governments recently over the past year or so, year and a half, to offer them an opportunity that no other company can offer them. It's a guaranteed issue life insurance. Can you all hear me? Can they hear me okay? Yeah, okay. It's a guaranteed life insurance that's available to all of the employees and their families, so spouse, domestic partner, kids and grandkids. It is guaranteed issue, meaning there is no underwriting. There is no lab work, there's no physical, there's no medical questions. So it's available for everybody up to age 70, employees from 10,000 to 200,000. It's available for their spouses, domestic partners, kids, grandkids up to age 25. But the great thing about this is the insurance companies, including New York Life, are getting more and more strict on their underwriting. There's so many more medical problems these days, unfortunately, than typically, right? We can all probably identify with somebody who has a major medical issue. And the companies are denying people. So I've come across so many people who cannot get insurance. You know, if they come to me individually and they tell me they either have diabetes or heart issues or anxiety and depression or whatever it is, a lot of times I'm saying, like, I'm not going to try. You're going to be denied. So the great thing about this is with no underwriting, because we're offering it to a group. And the reason why I'm going through the group is there's a lot of townships and boroughs who are smaller, right? The minimum requirement is 25 employees to offer this. Not that they have to participate, but just to be able to offer this to them. And there are so many that are smaller that miss out on these great opportunities. So recently, I'm just finishing up with the Shar West COG and Allegheny Valley North COG. Someone in one of those COGs, I didn't even know COG existed. They have 4 employees and they wanted me to offer this to their employees and I couldn't do it. So he said, let's take this another step up. So it took about a couple months to figure this all out, but we're able to offer this to all of their employees. So police officers, council, everybody that falls under this, it's voluntary. Nobody has to participate, but it's available to them. Like I said a few minutes ago, people with diabetes, cancer, history of cancer, they're more strict on anxiety and depression these days. If you're on multiple medications, either your rating's going to be really high and you're going to be really expensive to insure, or they're not going to insure you. They look a lot at tobacco users. Tobacco users can be twice as expensive to insure. So these prices go strictly according to age. So of course, the older we get, it's going to be a little more expensive, but just get something, right? So there's a lot of people who cannot get it or say, if I go through underwriting, I'm a tobacco user, I'm a little overweight, I'm a diabetic, you're denied. So through this, you will get people to say, I'm not interested, and that's fine. It's voluntary. It's a standalone benefit. This does not take place of anything else they have. But it's just a really great opportunity for a lot of people who cannot get insurance or were afraid of lab work, afraid of needles, don't want to deal with it, don't want to deal with all that underwriting. Very simple, goes by age. The prices are locked in forever. New York Life is a mutually owned company. So within these policies, we have a cash value. That cash value grows significantly over time through annual interest rates of 4.5% and dividends that start in year 3. And right now we're paying 6.1% dividends. So it's a secure savings plan. You just know we're going to get guaranteed returns of that interest and then the dividends on top of it. Can't guarantee the dividends, but we have paid them for 180 consecutive years. So that's as pretty close to a guarantee as you can get without guaranteeing it. So it's a great savings plan. You can actually, depending on your face value, you can even add more money to it, which buys you more insurance, and you get those dividends and any extra money starting in year 1. So you get the interest and the dividends. So you can put money in, get the interest and dividends, pull it back out. I did that in December we bought a new house, took money back out. It grows like phantom money. It looks like it's still sitting there. It still gets the interest. It still gets the dividends. It's unbelievable if you look at what this growth is like. So it's pretty big. It's pretty simple. Not a complex thing. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, is this program available to elected officials also?
Yes.
And then what happens if an elected official is no longer in a position.
It is portable. It is yours forever.
So
As soon as you sign up,
you're
it's yours
signing away,
forever.
sign up.
Yep, you can do this, and 2 months down the road, quit, leave, whatever, retire, it's still in place.
What about appointed officials such as board members, like planning commission? So not elected, not really employed either, but serving the borough in the volunteer
They're
capacity.
supposed to be paid employees, full-time paid employees. The numbers that I'm required to try to get is a 10% participation rate, so I don't want to inflate those numbers by putting on 50 extra
Right.
people.
Right.
If they are interested, we can put them on, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
It comes out of their bank account, so it's not like we're affected with the payroll. Hey, they don't have payroll, they're not on there, so they can't be, included. We can include them. But like I said, I don't want to inflate the numbers, but if you have someone's like, hey, I'm a diabetic, I really could use this. Let's throw them on the census.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think the big selling point, why Amy is working through the cogs. Again, a lot of our communities don't have 25 people, right?
No.
We have a community of Hayesville, for instance, that has 81 people total. So having this opportunity to sort of serve as the umbrella for all the different 17 of our communities, I think it's a really cool offering that we can provide. Again, there is 2 other cogs in Allegheny County that have sort of taken the lead on this. So we're third up. And if we do approve this is the agreement on the screen here. Hopefully everyone on Zoom can see it. Real simple 4-page form. We would fill it out, sign it on, and then this gives Amy the opportunity to then get in front of every community and then offer it to those employees, the ones that are interested. If you aren't interested, you don't have to participate, but those that are can then do so. So no stress, no pressure. This is just giving us the opportunity to then start that connection.
So, and what I would ask for from all of you is to help me to convey that to the respective townships and boroughs to say, hey, we're gonna offer this. The only thing I need from them is the census for them to be on this agreement. Is like I said, throw them on a census, which probably didn't make sense to you before. But the census has to be everybody who's included in this. So from each individual township and borough, it's just a name, birth date, title, and start date. That makes sure that they hit all the requirements. So there's no personal information. I don't have their phone numbers. I don't have their emails. I'm not reaching out to anybody. But what I am gonna ask for after that census is to allow me to get in front of the employees. Give me 15 minutes. This is it. There's nothing more complex than this. Give me 15 minutes with your employees. When can I come in? Can I stop in and talk to them? If they want to stick around for questions, pricing, whatever, that's great. But that's it. If no one's interested, I don't go back again. If there is interest, they say, hey, can you come back? Let me think about it. Absolutely. There's no pressure. It's a 30-day enrollment period. I can extend that twice. With a big group like this, I need to do it. I potentially can offer it for 4 months in a row. Typically, we don't need that, but sometimes it's hard to get some of these.
So there is a bit of a timeline here.
There is a
Once
timeline.
If we proceed with this, it's going to be, we would really need to get you in front of our people within
Right.
the next month or so.
And before I can even get a contract or agreement number in place, I need everybody's census because I need to put it on one and say, this is one group. Otherwise, if you give me your census of 2 people and you give it 4
So
people,
census are people who want to participate,
census are all your employees.
or everybody
Everybody.
who can potentially.
Yes.
participate.
Yeah, name, date of birth, position, and start date, super easy. I'll ask you guys to help put out like an email just to say, hey, Amy's gonna be reaching out to you. If you can get this information to her, maybe by end of this week or next week, it's not real complex information, and then try to help get me in there just to present it. It's like herding cats, trying to get all these
Yes.
censuses together.
Now,
So
what happened to the person who turns 70?
if you do it before your 70th birthday, you can do it.
Okay.
Once you turn so there is a re-enrollment period every year. Say we start this,
You're getting close, buddy.
if we start this on August 1st, there will be a re-enrollment period next year, August 1st, and it's for 30 days. So you're eligible, as long as you participate the first year with a minimum of $10,000, you're eligible for that no underwriting moving forward. So people say, hey, I'm a diabetic, but I really don't have the money, just do 10,000 this year. When I come back next year, let's reevaluate whatever you feel like you can afford, add additional coverage then. Your original policy stays in place and never gets more expensive. If you're gonna be I had a lady who was turning 70 in 2 weeks. I'm like, put your app in now.
More time.
No, you personally, but I have had people like that. And then when I come back for re-enrollment, they're not eligible for anymore. Because now at this point, they're 70, so they cannot purchase anymore.
Sure.
So 17 boroughs, not every borough has to be on the roster, but if 8 boroughs got together and it exceeded a certain number,
25,
right,
right.
needs to be 25 on the roster
Mhm.
or 25 that.
25 on the roster. But I do ask that you like allow this opportunity for your employees.
And
It's
then
no
10%
cost to you.
participation above.
It's just on me. I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That's what the goal is with this. If there's 200 people or 300 people, was to get 20 people or 30 people, but it's not gonna affect, do participate. So I just ask that you guys allow me in to talk to the people, because you might think, oh, nobody's interested. If you just say to them, hey, do you guys want life insurance? This girl's in here wants to sell life insurance. They're gonna be like, I'm good. A lot of times people say, I'm good. But once I can get in front of them, explain the details and answer questions, then there's more interest.
So let's be full-time employees, what you're looking at.
It's supposed to be full-time. That comes into play when it's payroll deduction, but we're not doing payroll deduction.
Because we don't have full-time employees, we have contracted, couple contractors, that's all.
If they're interested, put them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just ask that people don't make the decision for all their employees. You know, hey, what's the price? That's expensive. No, we're not interested. Like, let them decide. You don't have to participate. You know, it doesn't affect you. It's not, you know, it's not coming out of your budgets. It's solely on them. It's just an opportunity for them. It actually helps with retention. It helps with, you know, attracting employees too. You attract someone that has health issues. Hey, next, whatever, April, August, whatever it is, you guys can sign up for this life insurance. So every year, all the new employees are eligible. No underwriting.
Do you need some kind of minimum participation from the whole cog to this to go?
They shoot for 10%, but it's not gonna affect if it doesn't hit 10%. One cog I hit like 30%, the other cog like
Mhm.
15%. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more on me. Did you talk to everybody kind of thing? Like, I tried.
Any questions for Amy on Zoom? All right,
Thank you for coming on.
so we need to approve the agreement with a motion.
No.
Do you want to do it right now? Okay, is there a motion? Is there a motion to approve the agreement between QB Cog and New York Life Insurance to establish the life insurance program for our member municipalities to promote it to the employees and elected officials? Is there a motion?
Second.
Any comment?
No.
All those in favor?
Anybody opposed?
All right,
Right?
thank you very much.
We'll catch up with you.
Yeah, we'll do the survey information. So yeah, everyone that's on the call, and anyone in person will go ahead and get the survey information, send it out to the managers, send it out to you. That way you guys can promote it as you see fit. If you're interested, again, no pressure. That's just giving us the opportunity with this agreement. Thanks again, Amy.
Perfect. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Next up, Eric Span is on the call here. Sorry, Eric, with the confusion there. I wasn't sure that you were on the call, but I did see that you're on the call after we skipped over your item there. So Eric is with K Sabatini, who's our auditing firm. They've been doing our audits for, I think, almost 10 years now. This is the 2024 financial audit. I'll go ahead and do you want to share your screen, or do you want me to share the screen, Eric?
I can share my screen. I have items pulled open.
Let me
And
go
I
ahead.
wanted to apologize to the group too. I deserve to get skipped because for whatever reason, I've joined probably 1,000 Zoom calls. My computer did not like this one. I had a ton of stuff open in advance of you all maybe having questions related to the financial statements, and I had to close everything and reboot the sucker. So I apologize for being a minute or two late to the meeting.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for joining. And yeah, you should be able to share your screen. So the floor is yours.
Can everyone see the financial statements?
Yes.
Okay. So, what I wanted to do first off, just very briefly summarize the items that required as an auditor to communicate to the board. So, for the record, no disagreements with management or Patrick or anything involved with making the financial statements. There's no unrecorded audit adjustments. The entries that I made to produce the statements are very straightforward in nature. They consist mainly of reclassification entries for financial statement presentation purposes, where it may be certain things need broken out from one another in a manner that may be slightly different than Patrick's QuickBooks allows for, and those type of entries. So, no formal items of note to communicate to the board as far as the audit itself goes. So, what I wanted to do for you is just briefly highlight a couple things on the financial statements this year. The financial statements of the COG are very straightforward and comparable year over year, as would be accepted or as would be expected based on the COG's operations. Now, the one item that is substantially different this year is dealing with the volume of grants that are being administered for all of your municipalities. So I wanted to talk about that first. I have the details behind those numbers so that you can tell what grants are reflected in 2024's financial statements and what ones aren't, because there's always a timing difference in when the COG will capture the grant financial statement activity. So with that said, just so that board understands, the COG is whenever one of your municipalities is applying for any of these grants, whether it's CDBG, GEDTF, any of these grants, and the COG's administering the grant for you, the COG's acting as an agent on your behalf. So how the grants get accounted for on the COG's financial statements are when there are county and state money for grants that are received, those are recorded as revenues on the COG's financial statements. However, because the COG is an agent, as it's administering the grant, this is not a profit generating situation. So when the cash is received for the contractor expenses for the different grants, it's recorded by the COG as a revenue. And then very quickly, the contractors are paid. So that's reflected as a grant expense to the COG. So the impact on the COG's net income for administering the grants is zero, with the exception of the small fee that the COG charges for the time and effort required to administer the grants on your behalf. So I just want to make sure the board high level understood that, because I just wanted to show you. We go down to page 7 on the financial statements. Sorry, wrong PDF.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the COG's income statement per se, year over year. And you're going to see the big volume items. Here's the grant activity. And you can see year over year, we've got a big increase in grant revenues for the COG. And we've got a big increase of expenditures related to these grants. Now, for purposes of this statement, we just show grant revenues coming in, but depending on the nature of the grant, we would categorize the expenditure. So for example, when the COG gets a Keystone grant, that's safety. If we have a grant for, let's say, the bridge project in Hayesville. That's Public Works. So we kind of, the expenses for the grants are blended between these different areas. But you could see this big fluctuation year over year in revenues and expenditures. But as expected, the COGS net income is not substantial at all related to the grants or administering the grants. So I just wanted to point that out for the board because when you're looking at the numbers year over year, that's why your revenues are so much higher for the COG this year and the expenditures are so much higher for the COG this year. It's dealing with the different grants. So with that said, I wanted to explain to the board where we're at as far as the timing of the revenues and expenditures for the grants. Said differently, what all's up in this big number here in 2024? So the two big items related to the gaming grants that are reflected in these 2024 financial statements as gaming as revenue for grants. That's GEDTF 135. That was the Ben Avon building. It's about 200,000 of gaming money that was received in 2024 and expended in 2024 for that project. The second one, GEDTF 002, that was the Leet Township Stormwater Project. That was about $80,000. So combined also into this 435,000 is 94,000, which was the COGS Keystone grant in 2024. So that's what's in that number. Now, as far as CDBG goes for the year, I'm going to go down to page 15 on the financial statements. Here's our CDBG grant revenue and grant expense. That 235,000 there, that is comprised primarily of the Swickley ADA project. That's about 145K. We had the Leet Township Orchard Beach ADA project that was about 32,000 in CDBG money. And then we had 44,000 for Henley Park. And I apologize, I have to look up which municipality that related to.
It's in Leedsdale.
That's Leedsdale. Okay. So that's what's in your CDBG this year. So the other thing that I wanted to highlight for you, for the board, and none of these items are going to substantially impact the COG, but I know you are all actively involved with your various municipalities. So I wanted to let you know about a couple accounting pronouncements that will definitely impact the financial statements of your municipalities when you go to look at that information. So I'm gonna go down to page 23 here. Okay, this section here, section 13, where I talk about pending and recently effective government accounting standards. Here's one that I wanted to bring to your attention, and here is another one. So the first standard, and that is effective for 2024, deals with the accounting for compensated absences. So what the Government Accounting Standards Board turned around and did, because there was some definite variability in practice, how things are accounted for and how they're not when it comes to compensated absences. So they clearly defined that employees' accrued vacation needs to be accrued for. But they also expanded it to some certain other employee benefits that are very common in governments. For example, a huge one can potentially be sick time. So, what all your auditors are going to have to do and what your accountants at your municipality is going to have to do is they're going to have to evaluate the various sick time, sick leave, any compensated absence policies that your municipalities might have to see if there's a material future liability. And if there is, it needs to be estimated and recorded in 2024 and then going forward. So, for example, a big one, you may have a tranche of employees at one of your municipalities that they can bank their sick time. Let's say they can bank their sick time and, let's say they earn 10 sick days a year, they work for you for 25 years, and they can just, there's no limit to the amount of sick time that they bank. When that person goes to retire, if the municipality will literally have to pay them for all that back sick time, this government pronouncement is saying we need to be accounting for that going forward. So that when you had, let's say, this proverbial highly compensated long-time employee leaves, and let's say they've got a whole year's worth of salary built up in banked compensation time, the government wants us to, the Accounting Standards Board wants us to be expensing this throughout their entire term of employment. So you don't have this big hit to your financial statements when an employee like that would leave. So I just want to let the board know about that. That does not impact the COG. In fact, none of these items are really going to impact the COG itself. The second one I wanted to let you know about is this government standard dealing with financial reporting models. So when you look at the COG's financial statements, you see the second, the section here that we refer to as management's discussion and analysis. So what that does, it briefly describes in a more of a narrative format what the financial statements are that you're looking at. It has some fluctuation numbers in it and some brief analysis in what's all going on when you're looking at these numbers and why. But then we also have a section here, this current initiative section. This section here, Patrick puts together for me to describe to you and any user of the financial statements. These are the financial statements of the COG. What is all going on with the COG that we want to discuss? That's in these numbers. That's the focus of this management discussion and analysis. This new accounting standard is saying going forward, this management and discussion and analysis is probably going to get much more beefed up than it was required before. For one thing that will be required anytime you have a legally adopted budget per se, whether it's due to a trust indenture, et cetera, almost every single municipality will have a budget. We have to have a budget to actual analysis that management will have to put together. So it impacts your municipalities. It doesn't impact the COG. I want to let you know in advance that you should be looking for this. That standard goes into effect next year. So it'll be 2026 that this expanded management discussion and analysis budget to actual requirement will come into play. Now, for the COG, we don't present a budget to actual for the COG because the COG's not required to have a legal, it doesn't have a legally adopted budget. Furthermore, because of the COG's operations as primarily an agency for you, when we talk about the grant revenues and expenditures and the timing of when those occur, which is why I explained that a little bit earlier, this can be very volatile because it's out of the COG's control when these gaming projects happen and when they're completed. And also, um, further complicating that is at no point in time is the COG holding the gaming money or this CDBG money for you. The money comes in, the money goes out, and gets paid. When Patrick's administering these gaming um, grants on your behalf, he's applying to the county to get payment for the contractor. He's not, the cog is not fronting the money to the contractors. They're actually getting the money from the county and sending it to and giving it to the contractor, but it's all approved through the county in advance. So the timing of these revenues here is kind of out of Patrick's control. So any sort of budget to actual on a line item basis, especially with these grants, it's not going to be very useful. And it's not going to be very easy to predict either. So that's regarding the 2024 financial statements. I did not have anything else that I wanted to point out for the board regarding these statements. But I wanted to let the board know, and these will be future items that you will see reflected on the COGS financial statements. So we have some different gaming grant awards where the award was received in 2024, but it's going to be 2025 and potentially for some maybe into 2026 where you're going to see the transactional activity reflected for the COG. So those gaming grants are number 54, that is the Rhodes Avenue landslide. Number 250, which is the Bain Park ADA restroom. Number 255, which is Swickley Creek waterline. Number 279, which is a sanitary sewer. Let me look up the municipality here.
Glen Osborne.
Okay, Glen Osborne. Okay. We have number 286, Public Works Garage.
Lee Township.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick. So that is all activity that Patrick's been working on in 2024. It's not captured in these financial statements yet, but it will be in the future. Then the other thing I wanted to let everyone know, thus far in 2025, so what happens with the gaming grants is when the grant period's ended, Patrick has to put everything together and the grant itself has to get audited. So far in 2025, I just gave Patrick it, what, yesterday? We did number 189, which was the Hayesville Bridge project. That grant audit is done, and he will be submitting that to the county. And in process within, I would say the next week, probably, right, Patrick? He's going to be giving me gaming grant number 11, which is the Beaver Road sewer line, and that is in Glen Osborne. So our goal is to stay up on the grant audits because as Patrick works more and more with the county, they get used to working with Patrick. We get more and more gaming money for your municipalities, and the county seems to always like when they need a grant to be audited, that they don't have to ask for it, that we just get it done in a timely fashion and give it to them. So that's my and Patrick's goal is to, as soon as these grants are done, get the audit done so that the county's happy. So, unless anyone had any questions, that is about all I have for you.
Anything for Eric on Zoom or in person?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Annual dinner 11,661. Why is it so much more than the other, the previous number, and why is it like what happened there?
Coding, the difference in coding. Like the dinner didn't bring any more or less. It was about the same. It was just how it was coded one year over the next in QuickBooks.
But did we really spend 11,000 on the dinner?
You know what? Actually, no, I know why now. So we weren't billed for the 2023 dinner until 2024. So those are actually two dinners. That's why I was. So yeah. So Each dinner is usually around $6,000 for expenses. We usually bring in somewhere between 8 and 9 total. So we usually profit about $2,500. We weren't billed until 2024. The Edgeworth Club went through some staffing issues. That was kind of a big mess, but until you asked that question, I forgot about it. But yeah, those are two different
Yeah.
years in 1 year.
Got it. Okay, and there was one more, if we could see back to, yeah, there you go. That's it. And there
There
it
you go.
is. Yep, there it is. And we do make money on this because it's a fundraiser. right?
Yeah, we bring in usually about $3,000 worth of profit.
That's very good. Can I go back to the summary?
Yeah, sure. Eric, could you bring up the summary again?
The statement, it's this statement.
Yes. There was one more thing. Moment. No, I think that's been answered because I was gonna say all these grants that are coming in can probably generate some interest. I see there is interest a little bit, and since it's going out immediately, it's not really such a big, it's not really a big, income, I guess, from that. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, for the community development account, we actually have to have the grant revenues go into a non-interest bearing account.
Oh.
They don't let
that's
us, yeah.
what's
That's part of the rules, so it goes into the account and goes out, but it can't be interest bearing.
Okay, great. All right, that was it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much again, Eric. Look forward to working with you as these projects get wrapped up here, and look forward to working with you again next year for the next financial audit.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to everybody for the continued opportunity.
All right.
Thank you. Are
Thank
there
you.
any more? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're
Are there
welcome.
any more guest presentations, Patrick?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. The June 18th minutes have been provided to everybody by email, and they're available right now as well. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 18th, 2020?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Any questions or anything from the board?
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed? All right. This
Next
motion
up.
carries. June financial reports, unpaid bill list, and payroll summary have also been provided ahead of the meeting. Is there a motion to approve any of these items separately or in an omnibus motion?
I'll make a motion on this.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Questions or comments on this motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, this motion carries. President's report. I am stepping in the shoes of Julie Barnes today, big shoes to fill. So I just wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity to conduct this meeting and mention on behalf of President Barnes, the upcoming QVCOG reception that will be last Thursday of August. Just encourage everybody and your colleagues at your municipalities to please attend. It's going to be the fee to attend is $75 per person. And Patrick explained to me that it will be structured not as a sit-down dinner, but an event with more like small plates to give everybody plenty of opportunity to mingle and network. That's really what it is about, to network with everybody, learn more about what is going on in your neighboring municipalities, make connections, learn, just have a productive evening that way. So just wanted to bring up to everybody ahead of time so everybody could plan, and hopefully we could all attend and have a great time. I believe that concludes everything that President Barnes wanted me to say today.
Yeah, thank you for that. And just to add a little bit to it, so we started the drive to get sponsors for the dinner. So I sent invitations to, I think, 30 different vendors, organizations, people we work with, presenters we've had in the past. So I'm hoping to, again, every year try to get a few more sponsors, hoping to break that record that we set last year. And I'm really excited because we have two new member communities on board, obviously Sewickley Hills and Ben Avon Heights. So hopefully we can get representation from our two new members, and everyone can meet each other in person at the Edgeworth Club on August 28th. So really hoping for a great turnout here. And if I'd be happy to answer any questions we have for the event. But the registration was also sent out to our managers secretaries group, and I can also send that information out to our delegates too. Feel free to invite all of your colleagues on borough council or township boards, planning commission members, police, fire, anyone you think that might be interested and that might like to get to know their neighbors. So,
Yes. All right, Route 65 report.
yeah, so a brief report this month. So last Thursday, last month, everyone a little more. Last month, we approved a motion to budget for a welcome signage strategic plan development with Michael Baker International. So I met with the Michael Baker team on Thursday last week just to sort of go over what the board had in mind, go over sort of some parameters for the program. I think we set some good guidelines, and I'm hoping to have a member of the Michael Baker team come out either in September or August to speak further with you guys, engage with you, sort of get some feeling of what you want to see. But I think again, the overall goal is to build something that's flexible enough that if you want to spend $100,000 on signs, you can use this plan. Or if you want to spend a couple $1,000s and maybe a smaller sign, you can use this plan too. Go working with PennDOT, working with the regulations of signage guidelines, best practices, things like that. If you want to have it on the 65 corridor, if you want to have it in random smaller local roads, something that'll fit a plan, not a sign design necessarily, but a plan of action that we can give to all of our member communities to use as you see fit. So again, very early stages now, hoping to build upon that discussion and have representation at a future meeting.
Great. And the goal is aesthetic consistency, right, Patrick? So that to kind of make us all look like, to be perceived by visitors that we are a united community along the I-70, I-65. I mean, yes, the 65, Route 65. Emergency Preparedness Committee update.
No report for this month. We're trying to get together with the three communities involved, get something on the calendar to talk about updates to their emergency operations plans, but no new update to date.
All right. Grant status report.
Yeah, so that was sort of a great segue with our audit presentation there. And it's great to see those numbers reflected, right? See, the money hit our accounts and the money leave our accounts. I sort of am optimistic that we cross $1 million this year as far as the money coming in and out.
Wow.
It's just the timing of it, you know what I mean? So every year we get an award, it's usually about 12 months lead time before the money starts getting spent for these projects. So we have a really big backlog from when these GEDTF grant awards started hitting hitting our mailboxes, if you will. So again, the report fluctuates, things get awarded, projects go out to bid, projects get wrapped up. But the report's really in your packets for you guys. If you see something that's lingering around, maybe an engineer needs a little push to help, get a review letter out, or maybe the contractors need to get their payrolls in. But I think things are really starting to move along. Two projects just wrapped up, one wrapped up in Leedsdale, the 4th of July weekend. So yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions about that, but I think we're in really good shape. Also, I want to add, and let me actually pull up, because this actually was just I was just notified this morning about this. The Gaming Economic Development and Tourism Fund application window wasn't really announced, but was informed to me at least, on August 5th to August 28th. And let me just,
They don't give us much time.
no, they don't. So let me pull up the official notice. This is going to be in my August Executive Director's report. So August 4th through August 22nd. So that's the window. We have a little bit of lead time now. So what I'm really banking on and what I want to start the discussion with, if you have an application that you guys have in mind, and these are bigger projects, right? Anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Let's start having those discussions now. I don't have access to the application yet. It's just not available, but I do have the guidelines. There are a few little tweaks. They're looking for shovel-ready projects. So I think they're going to steer the funding to things that can get done now and not necessarily planning endeavors, right? So if you have a project that you think, we're ready to roll, we just need some dollars, let's talk. I do think there's a big advantage to going through the COG. Again, there's 120 municipalities in Allegheny County. There's only 7 COGs. Allegheny County Economic Development and the Redevelopment Authority would much rather work with 7 people than 120 different people, right? That's not saying you can't apply on your own. By all means, if you think that is the better route and if you feel more comfortable doing that, that's fine. But we do have experience and we have, the capacity to do the project if you think that's the best for your community. So let's start those discussions now. Again, we only have a few weeks until the application window opens. If you do want to go through us, I ask that the application materials get sent to me no later than that Monday of the week of the August 22nd.
Yes.
So we really need some time and wiggle room to make sure that August 18th would be that day. To make sure that I have the materials, and if there's questions that need answers, we can get those answers.
Patrick, what kind of projects does this grant prefer? Is it more around safety or is it more
It'd
around
be really anything. So,
historically, from your experience, what gets funded, I guess, for the big aid?
So municipal building and improvement projects have been funded, sidewalk projects, park projects. If you have infrastructure, for a fire department or a police department, it's a really flexible grant and a lot of money is out there for it. This is all generated from the gambling revenues in the county. So I don't want to say apply for this over that, but what I would recommend is picking one. Don't necessarily throw your net out there and try to get 3 different projects because you're probably not going to get funded. One's probably getting funded. So make sure you have one in mind, and then you really want to make sure that your state senator and your state representative are aware of what you want to do, because they're the ultimate power players in Harrisburg that divvy up this money. So we want to make sure they're excited. They want to know that you're excited, letters of support, and they have every bit of detail, and you're really badgering them. So even though the application might go through us, you want to make sure you're saying, hey, Leechdale, Ben Avon Heights, Killbuck, Swickley Hills, Emsworth, whoever the case might be, they know about it and they know that this is a priority for your community. So, that you kill them with kindness, right? As far as awareness of it. But yeah, so that is really the biggest thing, other than the dinner. They're both very big things, but those are the real big things between now and our next meeting. So if your communities have something that you want to talk about, let's get on a call. Let's set up a call with your engineers, with your borough manager, your borough secretary, whoever it might be. And let's talk and let's make sure that you guys have everything you need before the application window opens, because it's going to be here and over before you know
Just speaking of shovel ready, did a certain Emsworth Borough professional give you a call this past week?
it. He did not.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right, next is, any more questions about the grants and the upcoming application deadlines or any other grant related items? From, in-person attendees or, attendees who are joining by Zoom. All right, next up is Executive Director's Report. Patrick, please.
Yeah, so I'll try to jam through this as quick as I can. I have a feeling we're gonna lose power or something even worse. So yeah, in the report I highlighted, obviously, our brand new member in Swickley Hills. Wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. We also, I wanted to make everyone aware that I was appointed to the Connect Board. So this is the Congress of Neighboring Communities. This is an organization that started originally through the University of Pittsburgh, but has branched off from the university. It's just another resource for municipalities, right? They take pride in more of a 40,000-foot view of projects, bringing in best practices, whether it's for police safety, environmental, awareness, solar panels, fire departments, consolidations, things like that. But yeah, I was asked to be on the board to represent COGS across the county, so it was pretty.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Patrick.
thank you.
It's a big deal.
So want to make sure everyone's aware of that. So if you ever have questions about Connect or maybe one of the endeavors they're working on, let me know. Also, I wanted to highlight the T-Mobile Hometown Grant. This is something that goes every quarter. So there's 4 application cycles every year. This most recent cycle ended on June 30th, but you can apply for up to $50,000. And again, this is a very generic pot of money. If you have a library that's looking for an improvement, or a park maybe needs a new bench.
Hometown.
Yeah, the T-Mobile Hometown Grant. So I have a little blurb on our website too, and the report. But they award 25 grants each quarter. And this was actually brought to me by Bellevue Borough. They were applying for a library grant in Bain, in the Bain Memorial Library. And I provided that letter of support and did a little research. And I was like, this is something I think everyone should know about. So $50,000, 25 grants total. And every quarter it's up. So the next one will go from July 1st to September 30th. So take a look, see if there's something that you might want to go after. They need, I think, 5 letters of support. So if you do want a letter of support from me, just let me know. I'll get one to you right away. But yeah, check that out if you're interested. And obviously, I want to highlight the reception that's going to be on August 28th. Sponsorships, registration all went out this week. So that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any questions for Patrick?
On that hometown grant, is that a revolving open window? Like it's
Mhm.
always kind of always open for a following quarter?
Yep. And it's all on their website. So if you type in T-Mobile hometown, it goes through 2 different organizations, but T-Mobile is the main financial backer of it. It seemed pretty cut and dry. Really the biggest hurdle is getting those letters of support, right? But you just upload it right in, as a PDF, and seemed pretty great. Seemed like a really cool opportunity for those that maybe need a few extra dollars to get something across the finish line.
Okay. All right. New business. Given the concerns about the weather, do you want to do the motions that are under new business now, just in case?
Yeah, I could jam through them pretty quick. I think these are all pretty cut and dry, hopefully. So we're on C. 12C.
Yes. Oh, well, we already did number A. We listened. There's no motion, right? We're not, and then we did number B already. So yeah, let's do this.
So this is going to be something I came up with. So the Swickley Public Library has been very gracious to let us use their space over the last year or so. And that's not just for the board meetings, but anytime we need space for meetings with the county cogs or contractors, whatever the case might be, they're always pretty flexible. So what I'm proposing here as a gesture of our thank you for this year and future years is a donation of $1,000 to the library. Breaks down to less than $100 per meeting for this year. And we can make the online donation with a little letter that I can send to the library.
So moved.
Second.
Right? Comments or questions on this motion?
I think it's an excellent idea, Patrick. I mean, they're using their public funds, the school district and the borough, so
Yes.
it's only fair to make a donation to.
Yes. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Great, this motion carries.
All right, next up, letter of support for Senate Bill 194. This is for really an initiative to update our advertisement requirements across the state. We have 2 senators in our jurisdiction here, Wayne Fontana and Devlin Robinson. I've written the letters here. Of course, it went away. I've read 2 letters that basically are ready to roll. I'm asking for the board's formal vote, and then I can issue that letter if your communities want to also send a letter. And again, this is changing our sort of archaic rules with, oh, you have to advertise in a paper record. Well, a lot of our community papers of record are gone. So just trying to get with the times and help our communities act quickly when things need to act quickly.
Yeah, that's been long in discussion and long overdue. Is there a
Been fighting on this for 2 years.
They always talk about it, and PSAB also always talk about how they're gonna support it, and just it really is time for this to move forward. All those
Well,
in
this is
favor?
Roberta and Avalon, and I was jumping for joy when I read the minutes and saw that in there the other day.
Yes, yes.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, don't expect it to pass,
Don't jump too high.
Yeah.
Why do you
Hey!
think?
because it's an old archaic rule. Pennsylvania's great for having old archaic rules. They actually like them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I was up at the PSAB conference 2 months ago.
Yep, they always talk about that.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what they'll talk about if you can't talk about that anymore. Oh, yeah, local police using radar. That's the
Yeah.
next,
Yeah.
that's the next thing.
All right. Well, all those in favor for this?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Right,
Perfect.
this passes.
Thank you.
Next is donation of laptop to Kilbuck Township.
Alrighty, next up, so we had a laptop purchase for our intern, Anna Richard, who I just found out was hired for her first job out of grad school working in Cranberry Township. So nice little note for everyone if they're interested to know. But yeah, so we bought a laptop in 2022 in the summer, and I used it for that 12-week period. And then the laptop kind of sat around. I have my own, it just sat there. So Killbuck Township hired an intern through the municipal intern program as well, 2024, Haley McLean, and she, they asked to use the laptop. I said, sure, it's just sitting there. And then Haley went back to school. So the laptop sat there for another year. So Haley was actually just hired recently by the township to help out with administrative duties, and came up, could Haley use the laptop? And I said yes, but you know what? Why don't we try to make this a little more formal? So the laptop, it's something that we don't need in our capacity right now. The value of a used laptop, if we wanted to trade it in, it's not much. The value is much greater for the Killbuck Township that can actually use it. So what I was proposing is us donating the Samsung laptop. Here's the model for those that are interested to Killbuck for $0, and they can use it how they see fit.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
You got our-
All right.
Yes, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
All right.
Yeah. that was good.
Is there a motion to reappoint Miss Amy Saint Germain to UCC Board of Appeals?
Is her term just up or?
Mhm.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Okay, questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, congratulations to Amy.
So this one's a little odd. This one I didn't know if I was going to have a verdict for you guys or not, but I'll give you a little background. So we're not. So Fred Gregorich, he's currently an Aleppo Township resident, Aleppo Township Planning Commission member, and frequent traveler around the world since he's retired from Edgeworth Borough as their public works supervisor. So he was brought up as a name for the UCC Board of Appeals. As the last few months I've noted, we have an opening. So I reached out to Fred, and he was like, "Oh, maybe not." And then I, reached out to Fred again on Friday, and I think I swayed him to think about it a little more. Like he was leaning towards no, and I was like, "It really doesn't really meet. We could really use your expertise." Really threw on the old charm for him, and he said, "Give me another 30 days to think about it." So hopefully by next month I have a straightforward yes or no from old Mr. Fred Gregorich. But right now it's still maybe. So
All right, so we're not going to put
no.
this motion. All right, well, hopefully he'll. All right, next is old business.
No old business.
No old business? Okay, other concerns by delegates. And this is a time for everybody to share news of what's going on in their municipality, ask questions, or bring up anything else that's of interest to everybody. Patrick, shall we start with everybody in the alphabetical order?
Let's do it. Roberta, anything in Avalon?
Yeah, I have a couple things. So this weekend we're celebrating the Avalon sesquicentennial. Bleh, it's 150 years old, okay, people. We have a couple council members and our librarian and community members that have been really hard at work planning this. They're going to have, they've been digging through the archives at the Borough Building and the library. So they'll have displays and history there. They're going to have a historical walk down California Avenue, highlighting what some of the businesses used to be. And I don't know everything that they're doing, but we are going to have capricious goats there. And you can play with them and snuggle them for a small donation. Capricious Goats, if you guys don't know, is a local company, and they come and clean out your land with goats versus pesticide and saws. And we've used them down at Avalon Park now. This is our second or third year in a row, and they're quite the draw. The people love to come down and see them and stuff. So they'll be participating too. That's
Fantastic.
the 20th, so yeah.
Great.
Also, hold on, I have one more thing. I know I'm going to totally mess this up, but Bill Pasquale, a longtime Avalon council member, brought this to our attention. And I thought that everyone here, and especially anyone on the emergency response team committee down there, would like to know about this idea he has. And it's basically a new ham radio, and he brought in an example of this solar device that would go up on the top of our borough building, and the borough building, because location wise, it would be great for the radio signals, not because it's the borough building. And if everything goes down, we could have little radios, like CB radio type thing. And he said there'd be a channel for the council members and, your emergency people. There would be a channel for the residents and etc. It was very interesting, very inexpensive. I will send the information along for everyone. And Bill is going to give us a demonstration later in the next month. But I mentioned our emergency committee, and that I think, well, as we're in the middle of a storm, that with the storms that we've all had this year, that I think there'd be a lot of interest perhaps for the other boroughs to implement this, and it seems to be very low cost. So that I know everyone likes that.
Yes, that sounds really cool. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're so very welcome.
I just want to make a note for everyone. Donna is leaving the call. She mentioned that Big Swickley Creek is becoming a bigger Swickley Creek very quickly. So be safe, Donna. Hopefully everything's okay down there. All right, next up, let's see. Go through that things real quick. Dan, what's new in Bellevue?
Not a whole lot. Thankfully, it's pretty quiet. We are continuing work on the next phase of streetscape through on Lincoln Avenue. The contractor's got most of the conduit in on both sides of the street, so hoping he or they get to start pouring concrete pads in the next couple days. Because we have a big event coming up in August, so we're hoping that we have at least some walkable space in the area where they're doing construction. Bellevue Memorial Pool is currently experiencing some issues with sewage or backing up sewer lines. So we're looking into how to resolve that. We had to bring in some porta johns, unfortunately, but it was either that or close the pool down. So we're working through that right now and trying to figure out best course of action to fix aging infrastructure that has been ignored for far too long, obviously. So other than that, we are currently just staying the course right now in Bellevue and weathering this current storm.
Yes. Yeah, and so now that I think about it, we'll definitely be over the $1 million mark for next year's grant, because just with the streetscape project, that's over $500,000. So yeah. But excited to see that wrap up, and we'll get the paperwork done and enjoy the new facets of Lincoln Avenue. And I'm sure that everyone will be happy with the construction being done.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Tavia, what's new in Dunn
Well, we're looking for some grant money regarding the elevator project. Some unexpected expenses came up regarding the ramp. It wasn't included in the initial estimate, and estimates vary, but I think it's at least $100,000, maybe more for that. So that's some additional expense with that.
Yeah, let's talk. I mean, the gaming money is something that I think the borough has attained a couple times in the last few years. So probably a decent well to go back to bridge that gap.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, it's storming here and things are flying around outside. I may have missed it, but regarding the state bill for advertising, is there a like a form letter that you have that we could use to support that?
Yeah, I'll get that out to everybody. So I'll send it to the delegates in our managers group too. Feel free to use the language that I put together. I mean, it's not super specific, so I think you can pretty much apply it to any community and then add whatever you guys would like to add. But yeah, I'll send that out and you guys use it as you see fit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Alrighty, next up we have Ben Avon Heights. Steve, what's new in the Heights?
Yeah, so as we talked about a little bit, we had a garbage contract coming up this year, and we put it out to bid for a 1 and 3 year. Unfortunately, the 1 year bid was really cost prohibitive for us. It was like 2x of our 3 year contract. So the board decided to go forward with a 3 year contract. So that kind of gets us off cycle again with the cog, which is the bad part. It was a very competitive bid. It actually lowered our trash price from what we have now. So we were happy about that. But the good news is that it'll put us on a cycle for if we do another 3 year, we can land, if the cog does a 5 year coming up here, we can be on the next one. So that was kind of where we ended up there. So we're happy, but we're also, we wish we could have found a bridge to get on the cog contract this year, but are coming up in next year. That's the big news out of Ben Avon Heights.
Thank you for that. And I just note to the board, Steve did share the contract numbers with me, so it kind of gives me a little bit of a heads up when we start to really talk about getting a spec together for next year for our bid, for next year's bid. So I thank him for that, and we'll move on along to Edgeworth. Ellen, what's new?
We just hired a new full-time police officer, which is very exciting. So he got sworn in last night, and he'll be joining us tomorrow officially. And what else is going on? We have an ADA parking project that's happening outside the borough building. That's part of a COG grant. So thanks to Patrick for all your help in that one. We're adding 2 ADA parking spaces in front and building a retaining wall. So that will hopefully help our residents access our building better. And other than that, we're business as usual.
Very good. I like it. Paul, what's new in Emsworth?
Absolutely nothing. Nice and quiet.
I like it. Alrighty, Diane, I'm not sure if you have anything to bring, if you can hear me, but you're up. She had some technical difficulties. She called earlier, so we'll move on. And if Diane has something, maybe she can send me a text. So next up, Joel in Glenfield. Going once. Going twice. Okay, Amanda in Hayesville. Going once.
Whether or not everybody's like.
That could be the case. All right, Leedsdale, Maria.
Yes, so we had our annual 4th of July festivities, which went very well. Our parade was well attended. The weather was perfect, not super hot. We had afterwards a gathering in the park with some bands and the Zambelli fireworks with the moon shining right over them, just a perfect ending to a perfect day. So thank you very much to local residents and guests who have attended and who have enjoyed the festivities. We're looking forward to putting together the event for next year, and that's going to be a quincentennial. So hopefully we'll make it a little extra special. We in the borough have received, fortunate to receive 2 grants recently. One is a grant from PHMC that would fund a historic resource survey for us, basically to have a consultant come and look at every building and make a database map it in with GIS system for, with this building, the condition, the style, the architectural features, buildings, monuments, other features, and basically that's $15,000 we received. We will kind of have to put in just a little bit under that to conduct the project next year. But we're hoping to use that to get a very good sense of where we are in terms of historic preservation and what we could do to help protect our historical assets and assist homeowners maybe in recovering properties and just invite, basically anything where historic preservation could help our borough revitalize and thrive. Like that this is the goal of this project. So we're looking forward to putting it out, an RFP out for that. The other project we're going to conduct next year is a fully funded active transportation plan. We just got an announcement that we received money from PA Department of Health, and we have a year to complete this. So again, hopefully a consultant will come and help us understand how we can make our borough more walkable and accessible in all ways other than by car. My big, like, when I spearheaded this, my big hope was that maybe it would somewhere help us repair some sidewalks for, without incurring cost on our homeowners. So that's sort of the big advantage, the kind of the end goal there, but we'll see what we find out. It's going to be, all of those will require community input, and hopefully I'll be reaching out to some groups that utilize active transportation in the area, and maybe people who are interested in historic preservation. I would love to talk to you about this and how we could make, this region just, preserve what we have with the eye to the future. And there was one more thing I wanted to ask, and Patrick, do you still have the zoning officer, like the zoning ordinance review? Like, do you still have that service?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's something just kind of going forward we were
Yeah.
thinking about. So.
Whenever you guys have an idea, let me know. I'll get a call between us. Chris Rierick is our zoning expertise, consultant, and we can get a call, see if there's a fit, kind of go over pricing, things like that. But anytime there's anyone that has zoning issues or maybe opportunities, there's always that program out there for you.
And other than that, we're just continuing to kind of chip away and figure out where, looking to improve our parks within the next 2 years, and just to have various other things like that. So yes, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. All righty, Nate, what's new in Sewickley Heights? Going once. All right, we'll move along. Hunter, it's new in Sewickley Hills. First off, welcome.
Oh, thank
This
you.
is our first.
Yeah,
first
I was gonna say, our big news is, well, we've joined PV Cogs. So we're, I'm very wide-eyed and just kind of soaking everything in and hearing all of the kind of resources and things that are, so we're very excited to be a part of it. So I'm anxious to also, do the end of August event and see who else will go, because I think that's a great networking event. So I'm excited to bring that back, and a lot of the things from today. But so Sewickley, of course, is a small borough, right? We have 700 or so residents. Our big works that we have is we do have a rebuild of a couple of roads happening this fall. So Cantor and Trotter drives are getting resurfaced, and that's the first time in 40 years that's happened for them since they were originally built, I guess. We have a interest in building an addition on our borough building. But when the bids came back in, it was kind of cost prohibitive. So that is something I think that we are looking for alternate ways to try to see if we can't get that addition done. So maybe GTF makes sense there or something. And other than that, we are sending out a newsletter to our residents, and that's second year in a row that we're at least communicating. That has been a challenge for us as well in the past, that we don't have great communications with our residents. So we're just looking and trying to augment extra ways to kind of communicate, because it's not something that we feel like we have great communication with everybody in our residents. So I'll be interested in picking everybody's brain here as well, just on how everybody keeps in touch with their residents. That's all I have.
Very good. And we'll set up a call, Hunter. I do want to get a call just to kind of go over what we have in the arsenal of things we can offer for you guys. And there are some things as far as GIS things, like geographic information mapping things, that I want to get you guys enrolled into. So I'll reach out with an email tomorrow sometime. Let's figure out a call in the next couple of weeks, and we'll go over those details. Alrighty. Any other thoughts before we close up shop from those in person or on Zoom?
You skipped me.
Oh, Daryl, I'm so sorry.
It's invisible. Okay. All right. There's nothing much going on, but you know.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
You recognize me.
Sorry.
We started a newsletter this past year as well, which we had been doing nothing for forever and ever. So that seemed to be being well received by the township. We're the same size as you guys. We're 700 people. I'm saying. And we also launched, and I know a bunch of other municipalities use it, Savvy Citizen app for your telephone.
Okay.
And it's very low cost and you just give your manager or whoever you want to access to it. And we picked it up because we had a case where the trash was going to be delayed by 2 days. And people were freaking out. And with the app, you just put, hey, trash pickup will be delayed 2 days. Or there's construction, this road is closed due to a landslide. You know, those kind of messages we promised our people. We're not going to swamp them with stupidity. I mean, stuff that's not critical, but if you just download the app, set it up, then you can send out messages, whatever you want to send out to people. If you want to send a bunch of extra stuff, fine, but
And do they have to sign up for it?
they just sign up, they just download the app, sign up for the app, and then they click which municipalities they want, which includes adjoining municipalities, if they want. They can just do they can just do Killbuck, or they can do Bellevue, Avalon,
Has your
Killbuck.
adoption been good of it? I mean, like.
I don't know, last newsletter went out, I think 3 weeks ago. So, we'll see
Well-
if people were jumping in on it. I think,
It kind of would really depend, like we were looking at an app like this, it really depends on what your, if you tend to have a lot of elderly residents, they tend to be more reticent about this kind of technology, so. Just kind of see what, you might want to like honestly doing like a little survey on Facebook or, you know, it could give you some ideas as to what people.
and we
Thank-
incorporated, we sent out a newsletter with the exact
Yeah, you have to.
idiot-proof instructions.
Yeah.
Well, idiot-proof is a hard word, but I mean, anybody can do it, I think.
Yeah.
And I checked with my wife, if she could do it, then anybody can do it. So she's not tech savvy. So that's another way to communicate with people that we've kind of worked on. So, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have nothing.
The newsletter is good, just having a paper newsletter, we are just a little bit bigger than you. We find that it's cost, like, obviously, once you get a really big municipality, sending everybody a paper newsletter becomes really financially becomes a strain. I mean, for our size, we find it's very doable. And you also could put in it like announcement for your events, or like if you have any committees that are doing work that requires fundraising, they could put in their appeals in the newsletter. So it kind of, I suppose, serves the purpose. You know, it kind of helps basically other groups and other people in the community for trying to do something. And since I became president, at least I'll kind of try to put in the newsletter like an actual write-up of what's happening. So basically it's gonna have to fall on somebody to actually write it. So that's sort of to think about, like who's gonna actually do it. There you go, who's gonna do it? Right,
Yeah, right, hours, so.
right.
And we just keep it to a front and back of one sheet of paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know Ohio Township does 17 pages but I think theirs is only available online. I don't think they mail it.
But there are also like always placeholders, like a message from the police, a message from
Yes.
the public works, like, and they will do their own, hopefully. Right.
Who does your police? Ohio Township? Yeah, and they always have good ideas about stuff to put in there.
Okay.
They feed me some stuff and I can put it in ours. They're really good about, Chief's really good about that.
So it's not, in the end, it's not much, but it is consistency, and somebody has to, and somebody has to fold them all, like that's
Yes.
another job.
Well, we
The
take
job
them
is-
to the printer
There
and
you
the
go.
printer folds them and mails them
There you
even.
go,
We don't do anything but just send a PDF file. They do everything.
there you go, those are all different.
It's not very expensive.
Mhm,
I'm surprised how expensive it is.
mhm.
And then if you remember PSAB, you send one there, you probably get an award. It's
Yes.
Always
they
the
do
same
give an
people.
award. They do give awards for that, too. That's a nice something.
Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you
Anybody?
can't, 'cause you're a township.
Anybody who is listening by Zoom, any comments or share this, would you like to share anything about how you communicate with your residents? Since we are discussing this now.
Hearing.
In Edgeworth, we use a reverse 911, and we have a newsletter and a Facebook page. We've never had any issues with older residents complaining about our reverse 911 system. They actually get mad at us when we don't use it, because that's just, I think they're just used to it by now. But we do a quarterly newsletter too. It's 4 pages long. We send it out in email and in print.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and
How big
Bellevue,
is your municipality? Hang on, how big is your municipality?
Edgeworth has just a little over 1,600 residents.
There you go. So it's kind of same
Yeah.
order of magnitude. Thanks so much.
yeah.
And
In,
the
in
next,
Bellevue, we do Savvy Citizen and Facebook. Neither seem to have a ton of reach. In any reach that we do have or any correspondence, it's usually people griping about X, Y, and Z being an issue. So it's we don't want our staff to be spending hours of time responding to commentary. So it's put something up there that the pool was closed due to inclement weather, or an issue, or this road's going to be closed, and leave it at that. But yeah, Savvy Citizen is nice. I use it. It's nice to get those alerts and whatnot. But yeah, so we're about 8,000 folks, and I'm not sure what the how many users we have signed up for it, but it's what we have available.
Thank you.
Benhaven Heights, we have 400 some residents, and we have a community directory over the years so every time somebody moves in this borough, we ask for their email information, which are usually good to share. And we have a mass emailing list that we use to communicate with the residents. That's usually works pretty well. We augment stuff with social media like Facebook and Twitter for certain things, but usually gets the word out. There's always some concern of what to send. Some residents want us to send more information on certain things. There's always different perspectives on that, but we try our best to kind of use it effectively.
Anybody else on Zoom? Just a random thought for the newsletter, it's also a good opportunity to meet your MS4 education requirements.
because I think that's exactly right. We have a placeholder for that and we have to put that in. That's
What is that?
Municipal separate storm sewer system mandate. It's called MS4. So I don't know if
your
Sewickley,
engineer would know.
yeah, I'm not sure if Sewickley Hills is underneath the mandate, but if it is, then you guys have to have like a public education component to it. So it's pretty much like, don't put paint down the storm sewer drain, and make sure you wash your car in your yard as opposed to your driveway. Little things like that are like good practices to help avert pollution in the storm sewers.
Okay, good tip.
Yes.
Nobody listens to that.
Well, public service and stuff. Good.
All right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns by anybody present on agenda items or any items of general interest? All right. Well, I guess is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All right, awesome. And this meeting is thereby concluded.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Yes,
Marty.
stay safe, everybody.